good morning. I'm Fundo Mabalani. This is South African Morning. I'm standing in for my lovely colleagues Dumelo and Gareth, leading our bulletin this hour. The second witness will continue testifying the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. The former Bafana and Orlando Pirates captain was killed back in 2014. eNCA Silindelo Masikane is covering that story for us and joins us yet again this morning. Good morning again, Silindelo. So it's day 2 on the witness stand for Sergeant Mthethwa. What exactly are we expecting in court?
Well, of course, we're expecting cross-examination to continue, and we've heard, of course, from Sergeant Mthethwa that he's one of 2 police officers who were first on the scene when Senzo Meyiwa was shot and killed. They received the call to attend to a shooting in progress at around 5 to 9 on the 26th of October 2014. Mfundo, I'm joined by forensics expert Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, just to give us some analysis in terms of the testimony that we've heard. Good morning, Mr. O'Sullivan. Now, Sergeant Mthethwa has actually told the court that when they arrived at the crime scene, they actually had no idea where the shooting took place, and so they had to proceed to the hospital to get more details from those who were in the house, and did not actually cordon off the crime scene. Now, maybe take our viewers through what exactly is the process that police officers should be following when they are attending to a crime scene, and is this normal that a crime scene wouldn't be cordoned off as well as officers remain on the scene instead of actually heading to the hospital?
Good morning. Well, first of all, I feel sorry for the police officers, the first arrivals on the scene, because they had at that stage no idea exactly what had gone on. In hindsight, it's very easy to take a case and make it perfect, but that would entail you having a crystal ball to know exactly what went on. Now, in this particular case, after the deceased had been shot, a number of people put him in a vehicle and took him to the clinic, where he was, I believe, pronounced dead upon arrival. But you can't really blame those people either, because if you phone for an ambulance today, you might wait quite a while. So sometimes if you think there's a chance of saving an individual's life, you will stick him in the backseat of a car as quickly as you can and bring him to a hospital. Now, I guess when they arrived on the crime scene, they probably didn't really know what had gone on. The rules are quite clear. If there's a serious crime has taken place, such as a robbery or a murder, the crime scene is supposed to be secured. And that would include using the yellow tape that you see put around crime scenes. And then you would have normally a uniformed person would be placed there. And that person would have a clipboard or something of that nature, or his pocketbook. And he would disallow entry into the crime scene except for authorized persons, and then he would keep a note of who came in and who left. So that apparently didn't happen. I have no doubt that with hindsight it could have happened, but you know, unfortunately there's so much crime going on at the moment because of the evisceration of the South African police services by the government previously. We have a situation where literally on a busy night you're running from one crime scene to another, and I think that was the case here.
Mr. O'Sullivan, then let's just talk about the evidence that was found and collected. The defense is raising issues suggesting that there could have been contamination of the crime scene, that some of the evidence that was found may have been planted. Now, the issues around the crime scene not initially being secured, will the court be able to deduce anything from these issues that are being raised by the defense?
Well, the way it works is quite simple. Remember, we have an adversarial system in the criminal justice system. It's the duty of the defense lawyers to try and pick holes in the state's case. And that would entail, for example, pointing out that the crime scene could have been contaminated. But at the end of the day, the judge, who's a learned judge, he will make his decision not based on whether or not the crime scene was contaminated, but he will look at the totality of the evidence. He will look at all the evidence from the beginning to the end, and he will form an opinion, a legal opinion, as to whether or not the crime that is alleged was indeed taken place. Now, if you have a situation where the witness can't say for certain, which obviously he can't because he wasn't there, can't say for certain that the crime scene was not contaminated, then the defense would latch on to that. That would be their function, to latch on to that and try and pick holes in the state's case. But I think whether or not the crime scene was contaminated, there'll be a lot of other issues that will be debated during the course of the trial. And I think the evidence that will come out will eventually show the totality of the case, and then the judge and the court will determine whether the accused are guilty or not guilty.
All right, thank you so much for your time this morning. That is forensics expert Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. It's back to you, Mfundo.